Hello and welcome all to the second day of Video Mega Epic Higher EdTech Innovation Conclave 2021. Today we have as the last panel here and very important discussion is going to happen. The topic for the session is tools for improving accessibility of education, a discussion of digital classrooms and other tech innovation. To take this discussion forward, we have three eminent panelists here. Let me start introducing Dr. Abhay Kumar, who is also the moderator of this session. Dr. Abhay Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Pratap University. Thank you so much, Dr. Abhay, for joining today.
Thank you, Mr. Bob.
We have Professor Dr. Tabrez Ahmed, Vice Chancellor, GD Goenka University. Thank you so much, Dr. Tabrez, for joining us. We have Dr. Mohammad Khurshid Akhtar, Senior Advisor, King Abdulaziz University. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammad Khurshid, for joining us today.
Thank you to everyone, all the panelists.
So I would hand over this session to Dr. Abhay now for the moderation. Dr. Abhay, please, over to you.
Especially Mr. Akash and Mr. Gopi for having us together today. Well, welcome Dr. Tabrez Ahmed, Vice Chancellor of GD Goenka University, Gurugram, and Dr. Mohammad Khurshid Akhtar from KAU.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you are welcome here today. Well, the panel discussion topic for today is tools for improving accessibility of education, a discussion of digital classrooms and other tech innovations. Well, we all know that accessibility is an important topic in education and encompasses the classroom space, digital tools, and resources, and much more. Now, creating an accessibility-friendly classroom environment is the challenge. Now, when we talk about access to technology, it should be for all students. That is, it must be inclusive. And it is a major goal for many institutions and is only a part of the equation. Because once an educational technology comes in fore in a school, then the potential hurdles and challenges the leaderships and educators have to face comes into fore. And all our students, in fact, deserve to have access to the content we are teaching. Luckily, with the technology available to us, we can create a learning environment that makes the content accessible and inclusive to all our learners. Well, of course, these things we have talked about, especially during the COVID time, we have seen that how technology has disrupted education. So we find that the digital tools which have come into fore have become very important for education, especially higher education and school education both. Dr. Tabrez, just to know from you that though technology enabled access and most educational institutions went online, are there more effective tools, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Abhay, for a very nice introduction, and also thank Park for providing this particular chance to us to discuss and debate a very important area of the education. So you rightly mentioned that because of the digital platform and also because of the internet and online system, we are able to survive during the lockdown period because we continue learning. In fact, nothing is taught because already we are on track. So things are running very smoothly, properly. And we are also got a lot of good experience of the lockdown period, because in fact, what I feel that it was an opportunity for all of us to re-innovate and reinvent the power of the social media, power of the online medium, e-education system. Because before lockdown, there were two groups. One group who were supporting the entire idea that we have to go and venture in the online medium, we have to invest money, innovate, the education technology, because this is the future. But there are other group, they were not supporting the idea. They feel that no, because of the high-tech company, they want to promote their business. So they are coming and telling us we have to innovate and invest money in this area. So because in the lockdown, once we were dependent on this particular medium and we have seen the benefits, that's why we realized that now the new normal is blended model. Because in the offline mode, purely we cannot depend, we should not depend, because if we depend purely in the offline mode and not able to get the benefits of the online journals, e-journals on the online platforms or maybe online classes, we are going to lose a lot of benefits. And also because some of the things will not be possible to run online, so we have to also go the offline mode. For example, if you talk about that skill-oriented courses, or where the focus is on personality development or sporting activities or motivation and also the peer learning, a lot of skill will be possible only in the offline mode, or once you have the lot of no kind of the dynamics in the classroom. So my point is that the now the we have to discuss and debate that what can switch over to the online mode and what can remain stay in the offline mode. So blended model is the now the normal. But the issue is that because once we talk about the online education, we are talking about just 30% of the population. Because even the entire 1 year, if you see the condition of the primary school in the rural areas or the affiliate colleges in the rural areas, they have actually shut down the entire thing, and there was no learning happening in last 1 year. So they are the major loser in the entire process, because it has a lot of infrastructure challenges, because there is no electricity is there. Without the electricity, how you can expect that somebody has a computer? Even he has a computer, he may not have very good speed, because speed is very important aspect, because only in the 4G technology we can expect the video conferencing online lectures model. If even 3G, 2G is no possibility of the online system. So the major challenge is that how we are going to satisfy the requirement of 70% population who are at disadvantaged position because of the lack of infrastructure, because of lack of internet, because of lack of the buying capacity. They cannot buy the laptops and high-tech mobile phones. They cannot pay the monthly charges for the a kind of the internet the cost. So now the whole challenge is that now the companies, they have to go and then find out some cheap technologies that where they can really provide the within the buying limits of the 70% population. And also we have to then find out the open source journals, because all the top class quality journals, they are mostly on the paid model. So you have to subscribe and you have to pay annual fee. Even sometime if see our university or maybe the established universities, they are paying several lakh rupees every year just for renewal of the online journals, because these are paid journals. If you will not pay, you cannot then subscribe. And also the system of the remote access. Even some of the universities who are not very rich on the empowered, they could not even get benefit in the lockdown period because the library was closed and they were e-campus. Once the students shifted from campus to their home, too far away from the campus, they could not get any benefit because there was no remote access. So now we have to also invest money in remote access. So you may have digital library, lot of material in the library, but there is no access by the student and faculty. Then we are wasting the entire kind of resources. So we have to go for remote access. If you have remote access, then student faculty can access library from their home, or they're traveling, they're working in any office anywhere. So my point is that there's a lot of money matter is there, a lot of investment things are there, and a lot of infra issues are there. So the government should come forward, IT companies should come forward, tech companies should come forward, join hands and try to provide the cheap technologies, promote the open access the softwares, open access in the online journals. So all the people, 70% who could not get benefit, at least they should start learning. It should start for them. Regarding the better accessibility, definitely there's a lot of options for the university like us. GD University is always pioneer in the online medium, because even we did a better job in the online mode, because already we have very established structured infrastructure, because we have 150 school in the country, whether it is a K-12 school or maybe law petit or maybe play schools. And also we have students from 45 countries. They are actually part of this university. So during the lockdown, they have gone to their countries, but we remain connected. We remain imparting the online knowledge, online education. We could organize the online examination. So in fact, there is no impact on us. In fact, we have this year 20% additional admission than last year. So we are doing better job. But my only issue is that all those universities who are not so established, no structure, no planned system of the IT investment, they may be suffering. So the learning is that the blended model is one of the best model, and then we can also help those mediocre universities or universities in the rural areas and affiliate colleges to get the a lot of benefits, get the experience, and also they can leverage the benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tabriz. Sir, you have dwelt on some very important aspects in this topic. You have talked about resistance to change during the online shift, technology shift. Then you talked about 70% of the population not only having accessibility problems, but affordability problems as well. So you talked about the access to digital libraries. There should be open access, and I fully agree with you. Being a vice chancellor of Pratap University Jaipur, I feel that open access should be granted, and of course, rightly said, the government and some IT organizations should step in and start helping the universities. But there is another point, sir, I would like to dwell upon, that there should be inclusiveness, and we should not exist as isolated islands of excellence. Even the universities can combine together and share their skills and strengths. That is one aspect we have not talked about. We have just started thinking on that aspect. If one university has got established IT infrastructure and online education, of course, just as GD Goenka you have said at Pratap University Jaipur also, we have taught the students online, and the examinations were held as per the last academic calendar in May itself, and results were declared in June, even during the lockdown, and the international students went back to their homes when the flights were running. So that is, of course, happening with some universities which have both access and affordability. As you rightly said, uh, there is something which I think I fully agree once again with you is that, of course, open access has to be there, and at the same time, the payment to digital library should either be reduced or made accessible to the students in the 70% part of the population. Because, of course, for 1 year, as you very true said, that the students in the villages and remote hilly areas, they did not were not able to attend classes also properly. So of course, for them, we have to think about that 70% and not dwell upon only 30% of the population of the country when we talk about accessibility. Sir, thank you so much. Now, moving ahead, another distinguished guest we have, Dr. Muhammad Khurshid Akhtar Sahab. Sir, welcome to this discussion today. We have all heard Dr. Tabrez speaking, and before that, Mr. Gopi had given the topic also. Sir, how is
Yeah,
the new digital classroom going to look like? Can we have
yeah,
your views on this?
yeah. First, I'm thankful to the APEC and giving me and inviting me in this conclave. Actually, the topic is very right topic for a present situation. You can say the need of the day for this digital classroom, or you can say the online classroom, or whatever, because we have offline classroom, and there is one good thing for the Gulf region. Before in Saudi Arabia and in the Gulf region, they are not accepting the e-learning, means distant education certifications. They don't have the importance of the online classes, because if you bring some e-distance education class certificates, they are not accepting. But we cannot thank the COVID. Actually, this is the this online classes, and the concept is started by COVID. It's a pandemic, but it's give a good idea, or you can say the good concept to the educationist or academician to go for the online. And now the student is getting the certifications or the experience from the online classes. But there is problem for the means the higher education like medical and maybe the lab, but the virtual technology and virtual means blended technology is coming. They can serve the purpose for the lab also. Now I have to go for the main thing what Dr. Tabrez explained. There is a lot of challenges also, because you have to create the fund. I'm requesting all the academicians or vice chancellors or the stakeholders in the education to create some specific fund, because there are five main challenges in this online concept or digital classroom, or maybe going see, because it's not going to finish in 1 year. Maybe it will continue 2020, and we don't know, maybe it will continue for 2022 also. Then there are five challenges. Most challenges are: first is the fund. Actually, that technology is going to change. The pace of technology is going to change every moment. You have to select the best vendor. You have to select the IT people. You have to select the best networking. This is the one problem, because you need the cost. Then you have to allocate a fund for your online classes. Second is the skill manpower. We don't have skill manpower, but now I think in 2020, when online started, lot of people they learn all this technology and now they are comfortable also. Because before when online training started, people are afraid to go for the camera because they are expert people also. They cannot explain online. But now in 1 year, it's now it's going in a good way because see we have in our King Abdulaziz University. It is very old university. 1967 it's founded. We have using before the blackboard, but now when the COVID started, we change very easily. But some university having is still the problem, the networking problem, the resources problem, the manpower also, and the fund also. What Dr. Tabrezi explained. And if you go and if you allocate and select the good vendor and provide the training to the student, it's the better options now because see 2020 and I told you 2022 also it will maybe we don't know it will continue, but this digital classroom is the better way to avoid this COVID pandemic also and to train the student and to teach the student and teach your faculty also and all the stakeholder in the education also. But there is the challenges, but you have to cope up these challenges also, creating the fund, selecting the means the resources and the manpower also. That's from my side.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Khurshid Akhtar. It was a wonderful deliberation which you have provided to us. Well, of course, we would all agree on this platform that a selection of skilled people and matching it with the resources and funds is a bit difficult. But however, during this pandemic, we have learned how to go about and teaching online and making ourselves move ahead. Well, rightly said, many of the faculty members and professors in many of the institutions found themselves uh, just within a gap. They were not able to cope with the new pedagogy of online learning. And the young, say, educationists who were tech savvy and the old guards, they came together and somehow things were managed. Initially, one of the institutions I came to know were just uploading videos on YouTubes, sending emails, using, say, chatbots and whatever not. Anything was being used initially because this came suddenly, but we have to agree that technology has disrupted education. We have to all agree on this, and what could have happened in the next 4 or 5 years has happened in the last 6 to 7 months. That we must be very clear in our statement. Thank you so much, sir, for this. Now I would go ahead and talk with Dr. Tabrez once again. Sir, just to know, you talked about hybrid and learning when you were speaking. In a hybrid learning environment, what would be the percentage of technology in your opinion?
Okay.
Technology versus, say, faculty and, say, human touch. What would be the percentage in your opinion, sir?
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Abhay, for giving the background and also bringing me back again in the discussion. So uh, there is no clear-cut kind of demarcation that what percentage we have to adopt for offline online mode. So I was saying that some of the activities should be online, some can be offline. For example, if you talk about the challenges of faculty, because if you go and see in any university, mostly in privates, faculty will always challenge that they will say they are doing non academic activities. They are hired for teaching, but they are doing all non-teaching activities. For example, even for taking attendance, making the the bar list, or making the grades, okay, evaluation of the copies. So they will feel that in fact these are the work of a teacher, but they will feel that because of the more number in the classroom, they will feel their maximum time is wasted in non-contributing and non-academic activities because there is no value addition to their life and career if they go on doing all these activities. So point is that we can shift all these actually in online mode where there is no value addition. So for example, if you go and take the attendance physically, you are wasting your time. So what we can do, we can have online swiping system that anybody sitting in the classroom, online camera is there, then pick up the picture and then time is saved. Same way regarding this evaluation of the copies, that you can do very no very quick online quiz, and then we can this software can evaluate marks, and you can save at least 4 or 5 hours that will be utilizing in the evaluation and making the grades, and also within a few minutes, the moment they will submit, they will get the results. So then my point is that we have to reduce the faculty burden, and where there is no value addition in their academic career, we can shift those works used by the, we can use no software, we can use computer, we can also use AI, because now a lot of AIs are there now in the education sector. AI will take the those non-contributing work from the faculty. Faculty, what faculty can do, because if you see earlier days, if you go to a library and you want to teach a particular topic, collection of material big challenge. But right now, if you talk about the law teaching, because for a law teacher, he has to go on always finding the latest cases. In earlier days, you go to library and find out very very bulky AIRs, and these AIRs are not latest cases, because AIR will come after 1 month or 2 months in the library, and still you are just lagging behind 1 month. Maybe in 1 month time, Supreme Court, High Court, or any foreign court may have given any adverse judgments, or government has given a new policy adversely affecting the current law. So that's why in the current scenario, the faculty, what can do, faculty by using the online journals where AI link is there. For example, now we have this SCC online, HAN online journal. What you can do, just simply you type the case, you can type judgment, you can really find out the crux of the case, and then you can very quickly can prepare your lecture. So my point is that by using the online journals with the use of AI, you can just filter out the crux of the material, and you can deliver in the classroom. There's a very high power value addition in the classroom. So all those work which are not non-academic or wasting the time of the faculty will mostly engage in the teaching and research. Same way for research. Currently, if you want to collect the good kind of the journal, the article from the very big journals, very quickly you can collect by using the online journals, or by using the AI, and then you can got a lot of the filtered out the cases and materials, and then very quickly you can prepare your this article or the research work. Same as citation. If you see earlier days, citation was a big challenge. If you go and cite any material in the offline mode, you have to go on write every time. But nowadays, even there are a lot of softwares. It will help you in the citation of your research work. It will automatically arrange the kind of citation and footnotes and or endnotes. That will be saving a lot of time. So my point was that we have to then shift non-contributing, non-academic works to the use by the software or AI or augmented reality or virtual reality, where is possibility, and the faculty will only engage in the human touch, where in the dialogue with the students, where the lot of kind of discussion debates are happening, and the real learning will start. Same way, there will be a lot of use of the social media or online mode by the student. They can talk and discuss. For example, nowadays you can very easy to make a group, WhatsApp group, and then you can just raise an issue. Everybody is debating, and very quickly you can find a solution. That was not possible earlier, because for that you have to go have in a classroom, everybody is sitting and faculty is there. So 1 hour lecture is wasted for the debate discussion. But now on WhatsApp, even in the offline mode, in the WhatsApp, you just raise the question and they are debating, you got a solution. So my point is that we have to filter out the work, which work can be online, which work can be offline. That is the best way of blended, and even blended require a lot of research to decide a call what can be offline, what can be online.
Well, thank you, Dr. Tabrez. You have dwelt upon certain very important aspects of digital classroom, saying that, of course, AI can be used in multiple ways to reduce the burden on faculty members and teachers, like evaluation, assessment, and many other things, even attendance, as you said, and let the teachers focus on the learning, teaching and learning process, and even research. Very rightly said, sir. Of course, AI, as of now, has been used quite extensively in many of the institutions, though it has to stabilize to some extent now. So thank you so much for putting this point forward. Now, sir, Dr. Muhammad Khurshid, I would just like to put forth certain queries which are coming to my mind. Like, for example, when the COVID-19 situation had cropped up, we were talking about our faculty members not coming up to the mark in terms of training and learning, relearning, and unlearning of things. So, what do you think should we do so that our educators and our leadership in the institutions can make the teachers, facilitators, rather than just chalk talk method teaching? What should be done, in your opinion?
Okay, sir. Now I am
Yeah,
audible.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
audible.
Yeah, actually, this is very pertinent questions regarding the stakeholders or maybe the decision makers, whoever,
Yeah,
maybe vice chancellors, or maybe we are calling here the director or dean or vice dean, or maybe vice president or president of the university or rector of the university. What happened? Their background is the different than IT background or maybe AI or machine learning. When we plan for 1 year digital transformation of our department, and finally after submitting for the fund they are saying no, we don't have the fund. Always see, if you plan some project, they have money but actually they not understood the requirement of the digital transformation or the machine learning, or you can say the AI also, because now AI is for all. I think in all the universities, I am requesting everyone, you have to go and train the student also, and we need the awareness of AI. What is AI? We are using from long time, but now the new things we are using for AI. You see, you are going automatic door is open means this is AI. This is the application of the AI. Lot of things you can get. Just Dr. Tabrez, he explained, when you publish any paper, it will automatically add on your Google Scholar, and you will get the citation also. If you have DOI, automatic the Google will search and it will add your DOI in your citation, and the paper is also already attached and you will get the citation. If anyone use the reference, you will get the one citations automatic, it will come on your email if you are using the email. This is all the GI, this is all the AI and machine learning, and we request each and every stakeholder of the education. Here also I'm telling my bosses, because most of the Saudis, they are holding the positions but they are not the same background. We have very difficult time to convince them to approve our budget. It means we need the awareness for this all new technology. We need the awareness for each and everyone to know about what is the use of machine learning, what is the use of actually the AI is the big scope, and under the AI the machine learning and other learning is coming. This is not the right time. Otherwise, I can explain about the AI, because I am from the AI side and I am the data scientist also. I know I applied lot of algorithm and models and machine learning also. But my my main concern and what you asked, this is the pertinent question. You have to go to make awareness of the bosses, of the decision makers, of the vice chancellors, dean, everyone, all the stakeholders, to tell them this is very important. You see, one time one school teacher, she is asking me, doctor, how I can resolve the problem of internet. I cannot resolve from here. Their bosses, their stakeholders, their owner can means find the solutions and resolve the problem of the network. You know, in India, it is a big country, and you say I think the 40 or to 60% institutions, they are not the they are not the sufficient. They don't have the sufficient resources or maybe the good network to connect, and see the parents also, they don't have a smartphone or maybe the laptop, they cannot connect with this online classes. Because I heard some student also, some parents also, they are not say, they are not, means if they have 3 4 kids, they cannot provide all 3 or 4 kids a smartphone or laptop. It means we have to think about this. We have to make the awareness of the stakeholders who is involved in the education. And I know that, and you know, the education is the wealth. Money is not the wealth, education is wealth. We need to educate the people, we need to provide the educations to all our students or people, and whole in India. We have to educate, because education will survive this COVID period, I think so. This is my
Thank
concern.
you.
Then to aware all these stakeholders. Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Abhay
Thank you,
sir.
Dr. Khurshid Akhtar. You come from a very distinguished university in Jeddah, and whatever whatever you spoke was out of your expertise in this field. So I am definitely sure that in the times to come, we will be evolved into better use of edtech in our institutions, whether they are small institutions or large, because ultimately we will have to do it. There's no other alternative. Uh, Technology has to come into the teaching and learning process, and that in a big way. And it is going to be so in the times to come, whether we like it or not. So thank you so much for it. Now, since we have still much time left, I think I have some another say, thoughtful questions streaming inside my head. So Dr. Tabriz Ahmad sir, pointing and shooting at you again. It is said that EdTech student engagement, actually there are so many accessibility tools. There are so many features which are available in the classroom. We can say that EdTech uh, immersive technology cannot fit all the students all the time. This is being said. We are talking about personalized learning, powerful learning. So, what are your views on this? How can we match the edtech with the student needs and wants? How do we do it, sir?
So very good question, Dr. Abhay. You are asking a great question that really, because if you talk about our experience nowadays in the private setup, in a classroom, there are a lot of variety, because students coming from several backgrounds, rural background, then coming from the mediocre background, coming from the top background, some are coming from the African countries, some from the foreign countries. So the challenge is that how a faculty is able to maintain a particular standard in the classroom where everybody will be able to add value. So if a faculty will maintain very high standard, then majority will feel there is a bouncer and nobody is able to understand. If faculty will maintain a very low standard, then all the good students will feel that there is no valuation and faculty is teaching very, very low standard, why they should come to the classroom. So now the question is that how to then have some system where everybody is learning. And in this way, technology is playing a great role, because of the AI in machine learning, you can then understand each student and their learning standards and learning levels and also motivation level, their flavor, and then start providing the individualized learning system. Because nowadays, you know that if you go and search on Google something, suppose you're searching about the flight tickets of Dubai, and next day, if you go to your Facebook account, you will find the ads for hotels in Dubai. So you're just searching flight, but getting ad for hotel on your Facebook. It means that because of machine learning, if somebody is searching flight for Dubai, definitely he's going to stay somewhere in Dubai. He also may require hotel. So somebody is suggesting you because of machine learning. Same way, because of use of AI to students in classroom, you will be able to understand the student level of learning and flavor, and then you can customize the learning. If you customize the learning, then everybody will be able to add value. Same thing is that regarding the placement options, because then everybody cannot do everything. Once we are planning the career orientation for the students, we cannot say that everybody will become very good lawyer or will become a good judge or they can become bureaucrat. No, each individual has a kind of individual skill and capacity and the potential, and then we have to refine and then we have to train them in the course of 3, 4, 5 years to become a ready market, no kind of the oriented person. You know that very well. Currently, it is said that hardly 20 to 30% graduates are employable. 70% are normally not employable. Then why we are teaching and what we are teaching, why we are producing them? Why not we have to take a call that all those skills which are not required because the market is changing, we have to remove from the curriculum, and instead of that we start teaching those skills which may be coming up after 4 or 5 years. For example, it is said that because of AI we are going to lose 80 million jobs because those skills are not required at all, but thanks to the AI we are going to create 150 million jobs. So there is no problem in job. We are going to have 70 million additional job, but these require additional skill. Where are those skills? Who will be teaching, who will be training, and who will be contributing? So the point is that because of these interventions, a faculty or maybe dean or vice chancellor has a good time to review the curriculum, teaching pedagogy, and individualized learning to map with the market changes, map with the industry, map with the required skill in future, and then train accordingly. Then in this way, we can filter out the student and then we can have individualized learning to map with the skill sets where he can do a best job. See, in our time, if anybody is weak in mathematics, faculty will say, please do lot of time in mathematics, you can do well. But now the condition is changed. If anybody is not doing well in mathematics, he can do well in history. When we will say, do good in history because you can be a best person in history, because you are having flavor in history, you are getting interest in history, you focus in history, not focus in mathematics. Don't waste too much time in mathematics. So the point is that now the time has come, we should focus on our strong areas and go on building. We can do wonders. Then we can focus on very, very weak areas where there is no skill in you, you are not having any motivation or kind of any attraction to that area. So this way, individual learning with support of the AI will be a great support, and with the matching with these skill sets, matching with the industry requirements in future, and then we can transform 3 to 4 years to make them the market ready candidates. When they'll pass out, they will be easily employable.
Well, a
Thank you.
very thoughtful submission by you, Dr. Tabrez. You've spoken on the practical aspects of what is actually happening and how we can move ahead with it. Thank you so much for this. I think we still have time. And Dr. Muhammad Khurshid sir, there is something cropping up again in my mind, because with educators, there are so many queries with us. People are talking about the pros and cons of edtech. Like they are saying that it is going to replace teachers. Some are saying that for students, they are going to bring forth inequality. Then it perpetuates plagiarism. Even some are saying there's so many pros and cons. Actually, how do you think the faculty members should take edtech innovation? Because I personally feel that maybe necessity may not be a mother of invention, but necessity has become the mother of adoption as of now. So we are necessarily going to adopt technology, but then of course there are pros and cons attached with every aspect. Something new comes up. When a cooking gas had come, we used to say it would burst like a bomb, but every house has it now. So what do you think the pros and cons of edtech entry into education would be, in your opinion?
Yeah,
How
you
we are
are
going to
right.
solve it?
Yes, doctor, you are rightly said, and I think you also read one article I read 1 month back that in India, and both Dr. Tabrez and Dr. Abhay, you both are vice chancellor, and I read that 70% vice chancellor in India are not fit for the job. I think you read that article.
True,
And you
sir.
both,
True.
yeah, you
Yeah,
both
yeah.
are vice
True.
chancellor. Both are vice chancellor. Sorry to say, I read
No,
this,
no.
but I surprised. And this is you can say it is our very bad situation, or you can say this is the very bad comments, or maybe whoever published this paper, who can take the survey. We have to resolve this problem. We have to resolve the problem. Either it's coming from the government or the corporate or for the private sector also, but we have to resolve this problem. Otherwise, we cannot control the education system in India. And there is pros and cons also, and there are the expert also, the vice chancellor. There are some vice chancellor like you both are very good in your field, but we need to resolve this problem. We need to train them, because see, you cannot sack them, you cannot remove them. You have to train them. You have to make the re-skill or up-skill them, and tell them what's the requirement in the education. Because the requirement of the education is not only to provide the resources, to provide the fund also, but there is one thing everywhere, it's going on, or people are saying, to engage with the people, to engage with the stakeholders. If you not engage with the stakeholders, if you make the bureaucracy, if you not allow the people to come and explain you and tell you what is the problem, you cannot resolve this. You have to engage with the every stakeholders. You have to resolve with your subordinates. You have requirement also. The vendor, if you are going for online, you have to talk to them also, learn something more, and then you can resolve this. You see, we have the 900 in India, more than 900 universities, but it is not coming under the ranking of the Shanghai or maybe the QS or maybe the Times. There are 7, 8 agencies. We are not under the 100. But see, I will tell you, when I joined here in 1989, this is my 32 years in the King Abdulaziz University. The King Abdulaziz University ranking in Shanghai is more than 500, 600 it's coming. but we worked for the 7 or 8 years, and now we are in 101 to 150 in Shanghai ranking. And the Arab region, consecutive 6 year, we are coming first also in the Arab region. Because of we work for this, we engage with the people, we work for the faculty also, we hire the external faculties, and we gave the scholarship also. We start the scholarship giving to the graduate and postgraduate also, and now we are making the KPI for each and every department to publish the work in the ISI journal, and we help them. We ask the foreign expert also, they are charging too much, but we work together and engage with the all staff and student, and awareness. We can do the awareness program also, orientation program for the faculty member and student also, and the foreign student, and then we cope up this. You see the pros and cons and drawbacks, and now our university is under 101 to 150, and QS we are coming 143. For this, we request all the stakeholder in your university, 900 vice chancellor and pro VCs and all these things, to work for this, engage the people, and do something, and ask the fund also. And I request the corporate also to help the school also, because I heard some teachers and some schools, they are not getting the fees from the parent side, and they could not pay the teachers also, and teacher is suffering. Then you know the corporate world is very big. They can fund also in other countries, in European countries. They are giving for the scholarship also, funded scholarship. Then in India also, the corporate world should help this educationist and this all stakeholder of the education. This is my request, and I think this is, if we go for this engagement, we can solve the problem also.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Khurshid Akhtar ji. In fact, you have dwelt upon a very important fact that there is room for improvement. I feel that there is room for improvement everywhere. If Indian universities have not come into the rankings, I think there are many facets which can explain, and there are many facets which are responsible. Sir, it is not only the faculty or the vice chancellors responsible for that. I would like to submit, as being a vice chancellor myself, maybe even I am not up to the mark, but we are all learners. What is important is, as you said, that all stakeholders must come together. The corporate world, the government, the individual private institutions, the government universities. So much funding is being done to the government universities, and of course the output is to be seen and is being seen. So whatever we have to think is that we have to come together. I have stressed on this a number of times. We cannot remain as isolated islands of excellence. We have to pull in our strengths if we have to grow. Let's think about healthy competition and don't fear each other. Let's not be suspicious of the private sector. This is why I always exhort the government officials. Now, sir, thank you so much for motivating us. Well, I think, Mr. Gopi, is there still time for one or two short questions?
Yeah. Dr.
Yeah.
Please go.
Dr. Tabrez, since you are a part of the education fraternity where we have dwelt and discussed a lot, though I have not come, even after having done almost 140 webinars in the past 6 months, we have not come together. I think on one platform we were there together. So the Indian national education policy, which has come after 34 long years, it also incorporates some EdTech fundamentals and promoting EdTech and digital education in India. Now, does it actually open the doors for EdTech future? There are so many questions which remain. Do you think that this education policy will foster a faster EdTech revolution in the country in terms of higher education and school education?
Okay, very good question, Dr. Abhay. And also very good remarks made by Dr. Khurshid regarding the Shanghai ranking and why Indian universities are not doing well. So the moot question is that because it depends on the curriculum. So what I feel that because Indian universities, they have to change the curriculum, they have to map with the current requirement, future requirements, and also they have to go for the quality education and outcome-based education. In the outcome-based education, then faculty is the king. Faculty will take the call. He will make the learning outcome, course outcome, and he has to then analyze, and also he has to evaluate whether outcome was achieved or not. This way, I think we can go on having the raising the standards. But the point is that the faculty standard, faculty qualification, faculty salary, faculty training, motivation is a big issue, because what is happening right now that uh, mostly there are a lot of people who are from the old generation and therefore old thoughts, because we have seen 1995 internet coming in India, and then 2005 we have seen the social media and mobile phones. So all these old generation thought people, they are very challenging to change their mindset and make them very fast learner about the edtech technologies, use of the social media, use of the multimedia in the classroom. So my point is that at least the new education policy has stressed upon the changing the lot of no pattern, lot of the kind of the systems, because at least one thing I'm very happy that this policy is saying that whether it is central university or private university or state university or affiliate college, everybody at par, because we had tough time to get the government funds for research, because they feel that only central universities or government universities will be able to provide the quality research. But now, thanks to the private universities, there are a lot of good private universities. They are able to generate a lot of good laboratories, a lot of good research orientation, good environment, where even the private can do a lot of good research. So at least this the new education policy is saying that for funding purposes, we will not bifurcate, will not then do kind of injustice, and we say that you are from a college, you are from a private, you are from a state university. At least for funding purposes, government is saying now in the new policy that everybody at par, and it will depend on the performance and the caliber. So whether if you are a good professor, you may be anywhere, you will be able to get the fund to do the quality research. So this thing I must appreciate the government kind of the initiative. And also second thing is that lot of options to the student to switch over anytime. In earlier days, because in India, mostly it is a first generation, second generation families are coming in education, and they will go by hearsay. Somebody in friends, somebody in family, relative said, go for law, go for medical, go for engineering, he will join without understanding that whether he is suited for medical or law or for engineering or not. So the time has come that we should have a lot of counseling, and also we have to go and do an education where we are really strong, we have some skill sets, okay, we have talent, then the faculty can polish. So in this policy, at least at every level, there is chance to switch where, and then you will be able to find out the particular area where you are interested. And also you will be able to do, for example, with engineering we can do social science, with law you can do some science courses, or with kind of the science or with management you can do some social science courses, psychology and all. So these lot of blending and lot of options opening to the student, it will be able to provide them a composite personality, a kind of all-on personality, where he is able to have competency and flavor, then he can do a good job. So my point is that focus should be on training, on counseling, and also the faculty promotions. A lot of FDP should be organized, where every faculty right now should be at least very comfortable to use technology in the classroom. With these few words, I thank you all, and also thank the APAC for giving me this chance to speak in this platform.
Exactly, Dr. Tabriz. I think you've just given a very clear indication of how we have to go about in the future. I think we still have last, say, 2-3 minutes for Dr. Mohammad Khurshid Akhtar. In fact, something boiling again in my head. Sir, what is happening is that we feel that there are certain qualities which each EdTech tool must have. Now, if we talk about an EdTech coach, I just read Tyler Abernathy having explained that technology integration should be at least one of three things. Either you use it for engagement or efficiency, or it enhances what you are doing. Now, these are the three qualities which people talk about. That is, for engagement of the students, either we promote efficiency, maybe among the faculty members also, and it enhances what we are actually doing even right now. So, how do you think the best use of EdTech tool should be put so that everyone is a winner? It should be a win-win situation for teachers, students, stakeholders, institutions,
Yeah.
even in terms of funding. Sir.
Yes, this is really also a very good question. But as a technocrat, because my background, and just Dr. Tabrez, he told the mathematics having no background now. 30 years, after 30 years now, mathematics having very important role in the machine learning or maybe AI. And now people are asking, you have background of mathematics or statistics? and now they, after 30 years, they are getting a good chance to did either master or maybe the bachelor in mathematics. Everywhere people are asking, mathematical, statistical background or mathematical background. Now, your the main question. Technology is giving all three options. If you use technology in best way, it will solve all three problems. Just to ask, it will maybe enhance your capacity. It will provide a good learning also. It will give the accessibility also. But you should know the technology, how to utilize the technology, how you can use the technology. Now the digital transformation is everywhere, but we should know what's the meaning of the digital transformation. People are thinking if you make some website, if you make the dynamic website, it is the digital technology, digital transformation. This is the not the transformation. This is 5% or 10% transformation of your website, of your institutions or your organization. It is only 5 or 10%. Digital technology, if you are going for the digital transformation using the digital technology or whatever the technology you're using, you have to make your office paperless. Everything should be online. Means you can get the admission through online, and in Indian vendors they are developing lot of good applications. You can go online and get the admission also, fill the form, you get the feedback, everything online also. And now online training is going on. It means if you use the technology in a proper way, in a correct way, this is the correct
Yes.
answer, or you need more.
No, no, thank you so much, Dr. Khurshid. You have hit the nail on the head. It is not only technology or edtech which is important, it is how profuse and best use you can put it to. That is what is more important. So,
Yep.
of course, we must know how to make best use of technology. And of course, technology is going to pave the way for future high tech education, whether it is school education or even, say, higher education or whatever it may be. So, thank you so much. I think I have undergone a great learning today. Maybe just as a participant, I would not have undergone this learning. But after having listened to you and trying to, say, imbibe and inculcate all those aspects which you have put forth, and then reverting to you, I think I have learned something how to do things better. So I also would try to make best use of technology after having heard both of you, sir. Thank you so much.
It's my
I would now
pleasure
hand
to
over the session to Mr. Gopi. Sir,
It's
Mr.
a
Gopi
pleasure
Arora,
to
sir.
both of you. And when you need any technical seminars, I can provide your institutions the data, machine learning, anything related to the technical background also. I am ready
Sure.
Yeah,
always to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Abhay Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Pratap University, Jaipur, for moderating this session so well. Taking cue what you have just said, the entire crux of the entire discussion which has just happened. So we need to be aware how technology is being used for the dissemination of information to among the all stakeholders of education, and to what extent the technology is to be used. So it is very important. And this was a very relevant and very valid discussion which just happened. Uh, we at APEC are always ready to create such platforms for deliberations where we collectively move in a right direction to create a new and a better India. And education being the backbone of this nation needs to deliberate on such topics on a regular basis. Thanks to all panelists, eminent panelists, for bringing out very important and very important points and stats during this discussion. So, concluding this, I would like to thank again Dr. Abhay Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Pratap University, for moderating this session. Professor Dr. Tabriz Ahmed, Vice Chancellor, GD Goenka University. Dr. Mohammad Khurshid Akhtar, Senior Advisor, King Abdulaziz University, for joining us for this session. This is the second day, and we are ending the second day today. Tomorrow, we have a third day, long day, and I would request all stakeholders to join us for the third day tomorrow. Thanks again for joining us for this session. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.